Welcome to the Caribbean Cricket Podcast, your one-stop shop for all things West Indies cricket. By the fans, for the fans. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. You lot must think there's an actual rational plan to how we do these episodes on the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. I was just watching Netflix about 1 hour ago, and I said, let me just do a quick video. What? It's about, how long? It's about 12 hours or so until the start of the first ODI. Against India, 9:30 a.m. start in Barbados. So for those of you who are in Jamaica, that's an 8:30 start in Jamaica. For those of you who are in the UK, that means the game is starting at what? Is that 2 in the afternoon in the UK? Yeah, 2 in the afternoon in the UK. For anybody who's wondering, how on earth can an ODI be starting at 9:30 in the morning in the Caribbean? India, my friends, India. What they say goes, because there is no rational justification for any, apart from heat. And even then, there's still no rational justification for any ODI in the Caribbean to start at 9:30 in the morning. And that might go somewhat to explain why yesterday during the Frank Worrell speech that Mia Mottley did, the Prime Minister of Barbados, she said that she and the Sports Minister were shocked to find out that only 600 people on the island of Barbados had purchased tickets for the first ODI against India. Well, if a match starts at 9:30 a.m. on a Thursday morning, I'm surprised 600 people have even got tickets. I'm surprised it's nobody. 9:30? Are you dumb? Craziness. Boy, India really have us over a barrel, boy. We do whatever they tell us to do. But we move, though. We move. So it's an early start. I'm going to be in Kingston tomorrow, so I'm going to have to try and find a way to watch this match. But the team, for those who don't know, the squad, for those who don't know, is as follows: Shea Hope, captain; Rovman Powell, vice captain; Alec Athanaze, Yannick Correa, Casey Carty, Dominic Drakes; Shimron Hetmeyer, Mr. Money in the Bank; Alzari Joseph, Brandon King, Carl Mayers, Gudakesh Moti, Jaden Seals, Romario Shepherd, Kevin Sinclair, and O'Shane Thomas. This video is not this episode is not intended to discuss the squad. We've done that one already. So if you haven't already gone and watched that particular video that Santoki and I did, looking at the squad and looking at why we think certain people are there and not there and so on and so forth, can I just say as well that we've had it confirmed. Santoki and I did some digging, and we've had it confirmed that the reason that we gave yesterday for Pooran's absence is the correct reason. Pooran has opted out, and that's no slight on Nicholas Pooran. It's for the reasons that we thought it would be, which is that Nicholas Pooran has played non-stop for the West Indies ODI side since taking the captaincy, losing the captaincy, went to the World Cup qualifiers, was our top run scorer, scored a couple hundreds, 50 was in, got a 50 in there as well, and he's just said, you know what, I beg I play some franchise cricket for a bit. But as I understand it, when the T20 squad is announced, Nicholas Pooran will be part of the T20 squad. So his absence from this ODI squad was purely about having the freedom to carry on playing in Major League Cricket and just take a bit of a break from the West Indies international side in terms of ODI cricket. Remember, people, there is no context to our cricket for the next... there is no context to our 50-over cricket for the next 4 years. We haven't qualified for the World Cup this year. We haven't qualified for the Champions Trophy in 2025. So the next major trophy we have to play in terms of ODI cricket will be the 2027 World Cup. So it's a long, long journey that this ODI side is about to go on. So what I've done in terms of the side is I have written, I'm going to show you just in case you think I'm making this up. I don't know. The reflection means you can't see it. Let me see. Yeah, you can. Oh, there you go. Oh, look at that. Right. So I've written on that piece of paper 3 different teams. So those of you who are following in the live, You may want to get a pen and a piece of paper, because this one requires a bit of Tetris and moving about of bricks and players and so on and so forth. So because I haven't got it up on the screen for you, you may not remember what I actually say. So you may want a pad and a piece of paper to write down my working out for why I've got these 3 different teams. Those of you who are watching this on replay, ahead of the ODI starting, again, similar thing. You might want to get a piece of paper and a pen so you can understand why I've come to the rationale I've come to in terms of naming these the 3 different versions that that Daren Sammy and his backroom staff could go for. Desmond Haynes, if you're watching or listening, Kishore Shallow, if you're watching or listening, I am still available. I am still available to become a selector, a consultant with regards to picking West Indies teams and squads. So here we go. Team one is as follows: Brandon King and Carl Mayers to open. Before people get in the comments and say, Mash, what are you talking about? Let me give you the rationale. Either way, in all 3 of my teams, Brandon King is opening. So Brandon King is a lock. No matter what, he is a lock to open. The question mark is who is opening with Brandon King. The reason why I've put Carl Mayers in team 1 is because we messed Carl Mayers about in the World Cup qualifiers. If people remember, all the way prior to the World Cup qualifiers for the best part of 6 months or whatever it might have been, or even longer than 6 months, Brandon King and Carl Mayers had been opening together in our white ball sides. By the time we got to the World Cup, and yes, people are going to say to me, but Mash, Carl Mayers was struggling. Yes, I hear that. But by the time we got to the World Cup qualifiers, Carl Mayers started as an opener, then Johnson Charles went to open, and then Carl Mayers was moved down the order, and then Carl Mayers missed a game. My point is, how did we go from being certain it was Mayers and King to be our openers to all of a sudden now people are saying, oh, it can't be Carl Mayers and so on and so forth? Yes, he had a bad World Cup, but that doesn't mean you suddenly dash him out of the position, because why were we grooming him to be Brandon King's partner in the first place? So team 1 has us just reverting back to what we had been doing for the best part of 6 months anyway, which was Carl Mayers and Brandon King as the openers. That's team 1. Position number 3, I also think this person is a lock. In all 3 of my teams, this person is number 3. Casey Carty. Casey Carty has to be number 3. I don't care if anyone in the comments doesn't agree with me about this particular pick. Let me give you the rationale. It is high time we now give Casey Carty a run in the side. And when I say a run, I don't mean he plays 1 game and then he plays number 3 in 1 game. Then when he gets his next chance, he's batting at number 6 and then he's dropped. And then when he gets his next chance, he's batting at number 5 and then he's not playing. And then when he gets his next chance, he's like, Casey Carty just needs a run in the side. And I don't want to hear about fluid batting orders and this, that, and the other. You cannot develop a youngster if you do not finally say to them, here is your position, this is what we expect of you, and we are giving you a run. So I know Matt, so I'll bring up some comments. So Matt is saying in the comments, Carty can't come at 3 for 120 for 1. And yes, I hear that. And this, as much as I just said, there should be no, we need to give him a run and give him a set spot. Okay, in some senses, there's a certain bit of fluidity. But if West Indies are 120 for 1 after 25 overs, I'm still telling Casey Carty to come and bat. Because how do you lot expect Casey Carty to develop? It can't be every game, right, Casey Carty? You're down to go number 3, but today, actually, you're going to come number 8. Oh, today, you're going to come number 4. Oh, today, you're going to come number 3. Oh, today, you're going to... Give him a spot. The youth's 25 years old. Give him a spot. We are never going to know if Carty is 100% definitively not good enough for the international level if we don't give the youth a run. Okay? That's what I'm saying. You can all come for me, but there is no other position in the team that Carty can play. You can't put him at number 6. You can't put him at number 5, because as much as you lot are saying, oh, what if it's 120 for 1? You don't want Casey Carty coming in at the back end where you definitely need somebody to accelerate. But you can bring Carty at number 3 and say, you know what, carry on ticking over strike. Now, obviously, some of you are going to say, but Carty struggles with ticking over the strike. I hear you. But how's he going to develop if we don't give him a specific spot? That's my rationale. That's my thinking. Kishore Shallow, I'm available. Desmond Haynes, I hope you're listening. Daren Sammy, I'm available. Casey Carty, number 3. Number 4, this is team 1, I hasten to add. Shea Hope is at number 4. Now, obviously, some of you are going to say, no, Mash, no. Shea Hope has to open. He opens in one of my other sides. This is just team 1. In team 1, Shea Hope stays at number 4. Why? Because that's what Shea Hope says he wants to do. So, provided or assuming that King is going to open with Mayers or potentially someone else, Hope still comes at number 4. I think people are slaves to statistics sometimes. So naturally people listening to this either live now or on the repeat are going to say, oh, but Mash, look at Shea Hope's record when he opens. Look at Shea Hope's record when he opens. Why would we move Shea Hope from opening? Okay, cool. But you see, when Shea Hope opens, do we win? Do we win though? And so it's not as, you can't just say to me, look at Shea Hope's record when he opens, because if when Shea Hope opens, we're still not winning, then Shea Hope opening is irrelevant. Unless you can tell me that Shea Hope opening leads to significant numbers of victories as opposed to him not opening, then I'm not really listening to that argument. Okay, remember the ODI team is dreadful. So if Shea Hope believes that it's still better for the side, that he comes at number 4 because he can manipulate strike and he can turn over, he can rotate when spin is in the middle overs and so on and so forth, then so be it. But obviously that all depends on who you think is opening with Brandon King. So I've still got Shea Hope at number 4 in team 1. For those of you who are already struggling to pay attention, team 1 so far is King and Mayers opening, Carty number 3, Hope number 4. My next player at number 5 is a lock in all 3 teams. Shimron Hetmyer is number 5. No matter what the team is, Shimron Hetmyer is number 5. Okay? So he is a lock no matter what. He is at number 5. Okay? So if you're struggling to pay attention, the players I've got as a lock so far, King is definitely number 1, Carty is definitely number 3, Hetmyer is definitely number 5. Those positions are a lock as far as I'm concerned. I shouldn't even have to explain why Hetmyer is number 5. So I'm not even going to justify that one. If as a cricket fan you can't understand why Shimron Hetmyer is number 5, then you don't understand cricket. You must not understand Hetmyer is number 5. Right, number 6 in team 1, and this is why team 1 I don't necessarily agree with it. Number 6, I've got Alec Athanaze. I don't think Athanaze should be number 6, but when I was putting the team together, by the time I got to number 6, I was like, well, hold on a minute. Athanaze definitely has to play. He's playing in my team before I can even think about picking Rovman Powell. I'm picking Alec Athanaze. So I have Athanaze at number 6. Now, but again, before some of you run into the comments and say, Mash, you don't know what you're talking about, and it's because I've got Carty at 3. I am not putting Casey Carty at 6. I don't care what any of you say. Casey Carty is not batting at number 6 because that can't happen. Alec Athanaze has shown in list day cricket, as well as some of the cricket he played in UAE, that he has the ability to be explosive. So I've got Alec Athanaze at the moment at number 6 in team 1. I don't agree with it. Don't get me wrong. I don't agree with it, but that's where I've got him at the moment. Number 7, which is also a lock. Some of you are going to disagree with this. Number 7, and I haven't changed number 7 in any of the 3 teams, Romario Shepherd. My belief is that we now just need to give Romario Shepherd a long run in the side. Similar to my argument about Casey Carty, you now just need to give Romario Shepherd a run. And if he fails, we then drop him. Not after these 3 games versus India, but after a significant period of time, right? Again, you'll notice in team 1, Rovman Powell is nowhere near my side, right? So I've got Romario Shepherd at number 7, and I'm saying to Romario Shepherd, you are my finisher at the back end. I'm just giving him that job now. Yes, I expect him to bowl a couple overs, maybe 5 overs, maybe 6 overs. And anything Romario Shepherd bowls, which is good, is a bonus. But I'm telling him, your role in my side is your number 7, and I want to see you hit 50 or 32 balls or whatever Romario Shepherd can do. And he gives me some bonus overs as well. People saying can't drop vice captain. I'm dropping him, man. That's in team 1 though. So Ramari Shepherd, number 7. Number 8 is Kevin Sinclair or Gudakesh Moti, one or the other. Now, before you criticize, the reason why it's one or the other is because we're in Barbados for the first game. I am assuming that the track in Barbados is going to be bouncy. It's going to have some zip. There's going to be a bit of movement. I am assuming that the Barbadian grounds people are not going to be dunce enough to produce a spin heaven for India. So on that assumption, I only carry one spinner into this game, and it's Sinclair or Moti. Bear in mind, this team 1 is based on pitch conditions. And therefore, for 9, 10, and 11, I play Alzari, Jaden Seals, and O'Shane Thomas. And I say, all 3 of you, all of our best seamers, you all get a game in game 1. Okay? Bear in mind, people, I've done 3 teams, you know. So just for clarity, team 1, this is why I said get a piece of pen. This is why I said get a piece of paper and a pen to fully overstand my working out. So team 1, King, Mayers, Carty, Hope, Hetmeyer, Athanase, Shepherd, Sinclair or Moti, Joseph, Seals, Thomas. That's team 1. Now, team 2 is different, because team 2 was me then taking the assumption that the Barbadian grounds people will not produce a fast, zippy track, and in fact will turn up and it will take some spin and India will be laughing. So therefore I said, let me look at team 2 and let me look at it in a slightly different way. In team 2, I have King and Athanase opening. So all of you who said in the chat Athanase should open, listen up to team 2. In team 2, I have King and Athanase opening. Carty is 3, Hope is 4, Hetmeyer is 5. Then at number 6, it's Rovman Powell or Carl Mayers, one or the other. Powell and Mayers both can't get in my team. Okay, so it's one or the other at number 6. I'll say that again. King and Athanase opening, Carty at 3, Hope at 4, Hetmeyer at 5, Powell or Mayers at 6. Shepherd at 7. Sinclair or Moti at 8. Yannick Correa locked in at 9. Let me explain why. The reason why I have Yannick Correa locked in at 9 is because a leg spinner is a X factor, right? So team 2 is under the assumption that West Indies actually want to play a leg spinner and they actually want to give Yannick Correa a proper run of games. And if that's their thinking, then Correa has to play. Simple. He has to be in the team somewhere. So it's Sinclair or Moti as either the left arm spinner or the right arm off spinner, and Correa is a lock. Then, controversially, my seamers or my quick bolt are Seals and Thomas. No place for Alzari Joseph. Now, before you lot kill me in the comments and say, Mash, what are you talking about? No place for Alzari Joseph. That's because I'm resting him. Because Alzari Joseph looked stressed out in the World Cup qualifiers. He looked completely frazzled in the Test series. So in Team 2, Alzari just doesn't play. Because in my mind, he is now in need of a big rest. So I don't play Alzari. I say Seals and Thomas, you are my seamers. The problem with Team 2, and which is why Mayers probably has... Seals, Thomas, Shepherd are my seamers. Sinclair or Moti and Correa are the spin. And then if you have Powell or Mayers at number 6, one of them can bowls those kind of like get out clause overs if you need to turn to someone else. Yes, you see, D. Samuel gets what I'm doing here. He says, Mash, I like the way you're giving the men specific jobs to do. Exactly. So whether people agree with my team or not, my rationale is I'm looking at what is the specific role I'm telling these guys to do. Because Lord knows, sometimes when we watch West Indies, we can't work out what people are actually supposed to be doing. And it looks like it's pure vibes. Right, okay, that's Team 2. Team 3. So team 3. So sorry, just to go through again for those who didn't know. So again, because I don't know who's just jumped in. Up the likes, by the way, people. Subscribe, like, share, all of that jazz. So team 1, King, Mayers, Carty, Hope, Hetmeyer, Athanase, Shepherd, Sinclair or Multi, Joseph, Seals, Thomas. Team 2, King, Athanase, Carty, Hope, Hetmeyer, Powell or Mayers, Shepherd, Sinclair or Multi, Correa, Seals, Thomas. And then this is team 3. So team 3 now, this is for all the people who said what they said at the start. Team 3, King and Hope opening. Okay, couple people right now going, okay, let me hear this one. So team 3, we move Shay Hope from number 4 and we say, you know what, Shay, go back and open. So it's King and Hope opening. I hasten to add, one of the reasons why I don't think they'll do that is I am not convinced that they will want 2 right-handers at the top of the order. And King is 100% opening, right? With King and Mayers or King and Athanase, it's right hand, left hand. I just don't think that they will want 2 right-handers at the top, but you never know. So team 3, King and Hope opening. Carty still at number 3. Number 4, you lot are about to get mad when I listen to what I'm about to say for this reasoning. Number 4, Athanase or Powell. Now, before any of you say to me, how on earth can it be Athanase or Powell? There is an argument to say, hear me out before you cuss people. There is an argument to say that if Rovman Powell is going to be in the West Indies side, he should be told to bat higher in the order and take on some responsibility. You see, when Scorpions won Super 50 at the back end of 2022, unless you're Jamaican, you may not have paid close attention. But not only did Rovman Powell top the run scoring charts in Super 50, Rovman Powell came in at number 4 through the whole tournament for the Scorpions and led from the front. I think we pigeonhole Rovman Powell as being some late order finisher because that's what he does in the hit and giggle cricket. I do not believe that Rovman Powell can get better as a cricketer in 50 overs cricket until you tell Rovman Powell you're batting in the top order. Go and show some level of responsibility. All the while you tell someone like Rovman Powell come at number 6, then he will swipe and he will cow lash because that's what number 6 position tells him he's supposed to do. Yes, I know some of you will be like, no, he's still supposed to show some level of responsibility at number 6. But I'm just telling you that if you pigeonhole Powell at number 6, he will swipe. If you move him to number 4, it changes his mindset about what he's expected to actually do. I'm not saying that this is what's going to happen. I'm just giving you lot a rationale. We don't have to do it. I'm just giving a rationale. So at position 4 is Athanase or Powell. 5, Hetmeyer. Now, in my team 3, if you lot don't agree with Powell being at 4, I've then written at position 6, Mayers or Powell. So assuming in that team, you lot have gone and looking at the comments, most of you have, assuming in that team you go King, Hope, Carty, Athanase, Hetmeyer, then it means it's Mayers or Powell at 6. If you agree with me in terms of rationale for Powell being 4, so King, Hope, Carty, Powell, then Athanase doesn't play. Okay, again, you man, I'm giving you 3 different teams. I'm not trying to say that these teams are what I certainly believe should happen. I'm just giving rationale to help Daren Sammy and help Floyd Reefer and help all the backroom staff in case they don't know what they're doing. Okay, so that's Mayers or Powell at 6, Shepherd at 7, and again, number 8, Sinclair or Multi, Correa locked in at 9, and then Seals and Thomas. And again, I rest Alzari Joseph. I don't play him. I keep Yannick Correa because I think you have to have a leg spinner, and I think we have to give him a run. And unfortunately, it means it's either Sinclair or it's Multi. And when it's Sinclair or Multi, it's dependent on them scouting the Indian opposition and thinking about matchups and thinking about who, based on the top 7 or 8 for India, who is the better spinner to go with, Sinclair or Multi? Who matches up better against the Indian top 7? I'm telling the West Indies people to think on that deep meta level, not just pick the best 11 players. Think about the opposition you're playing and who is actually suited to play. So it doesn't mean that you must play Sinclair and Multi. Think about the opposition. Correa, you definitely play because leg spin is a mystery. And if Correa is on form, he's a problem. He's a problem. Okay. So those are the three teams. So one more time with feeling. Team one. Listen, and actually in the comments, you lot can just put which one you think is the best team. So listen carefully. Team one. King, Mayers, Carty, Hope, Hetmeyer, Athenay, Shepherd, Sinclair or Multi, Joseph Seals, Thomas. Team 2, King, Athenay, Carty, Hope, Hetmeyer, Powell or Mayers, Shepherd, Sinclair or Multi, Correa, Seals, Thomas. Team 3, King, Hope, Carty, Athenay or Powell, Hetmeyer, Mayers or Powell, Shepherd, Sinclair or Multi, Correa, Seals, Thomas. That's 1, 2, 3. And then in terms of who then is riding the bench, you'll notice that in none of my teams did I put Dominic Drakes. Now, that's not because I don't rate Dominic Drakes. In fact, I think Dominic Drakes should get a play. So where Dominic Drakes would come in, Drakes by either the second ODI or the third ODI, Drakes is replacing either one of Seals or Thomas or Romario Shepherd, because I think sometimes people forget that Dominic Drakes actually is a bit of an all-rounder as well, and obviously offers the left arm seam. So Drakes comes in for one of those particular seamers at some point in time. Alzari Joseph, I've got riding the bench for most of the games because he needs a rest. And then the other bench riders is either Sinclair or Multi, but obviously they can interchange at some point across the 3 games, and Mayers or Powell. One of them rides the bench across the 3 games. Good point. I was about to just wrap it up, but good point from Anthony. Anthony says leg spin is a mystery, but Correa's leg spin isn't. And I agree. Anthony, that's the thing. I agree. But most international sides, if they've got a leg spinner, play a leg spinner. And to give Correa his due, Correa was actually... Correa was a miss. I can't believe I'm saying it, but Correa was a miss in the World Cup qualifiers because he had bowled well in the UAE warm-up games, those 3 warm-up games. And I think Correa had a spot in the World Cup qualifiers up until his injury. Remember, he got the face injury and didn't play in any of the games. Now, obviously, some people can say, oh, you're only saying that because he didn't play. It looks like he would have been useful. But I'm just saying, when a leg spinner bowls well, a leg spinner takes wickets. A leg spinner is a wicket-taking option. I'm not saying that Yannick Correa is a good leg spinner, but he was bowling well up until the World Cup qualifier. So he has to get a game. He has to get a play. Similar to my Casey Carty argument. If we don't give Yannick Correa a consistent play and we don't give Casey Carty a consistent play, we'll forever be going around having the same conversations. They're not good enough at international level. And we'll forever be saying, well, they might not be, but we don't give them enough games to categorically say that they aren't. So we have to give them a play. We must give them a play, yes. So that's my rationale. That's my rationale, people. I mean, we're going to get licked down anyways. I'm assuming that India are going to beat us 3-0, but there is nothing wrong, I think, with having an attitude of let's just look for some good individual, obviously a team, but also some good individual performances across the 3 ODIs so that by the time the ODIs are over, we can say, okay, like the best case scenario for me across the 3 ODIs is that we come out of the 3 ODIs and we can say, right, Romario Shepherd has shown that he understands what the number 7 role is. Casey Carty has shown that he can take on the responsibility at number 3. Alec Athenay has shown that he can also be an explosive batter. Like, Hetmeyer has shown, Mr. Money in the Bank has shown that he understands that alongside Hope, his job is to rotate strike and accelerate at the right. Like, if we can get some of these kind of roles, if we could look at some of these roles and by the end of the 3 ODIs say certain and certain man showed that they understand the role that they've got to play, that's good with me. Even if we take a 3-0 L, as long as I can come out of it saying that man understands their role, then I'm cool. Because really and truly, people, at the World Cup qualifiers, did anyone understand what they were doing? Did any of them dunces understand what they were doing? Nicholas Pooran, Shea Hope, but did anyone really understand what they were supposed to be doing in that World Cup qualifiers? It didn't look like it to me. It looked like everyone was trying to vibes their way through the World Cup qualifiers. So I just need to see people understand what a role is in 50 over cricket whilst we take our L. That's me, hot out here. 151 of you in the live. Thank you for tuning in. It was a last minute one. I'm going to go back and watch some Netflix now, pick a series to watch and whatnot. As Brian says, people, get the likes up. I never know what the likes are. I just start chatting. Bible says men were playing fet match in the World Cup qualifier, but they were, you know. I'm laughing, but they actually were, and that's the worst thing about it. That's if you want to be in the Discord group, people, get in the comments after I've finished the video, and I'll send you the link to the Discord group. Pure jokes in the Discord group. But if you're an op and you just want to come in the group to troll us about West Indies cricket, I will put you in solitary confinement still, you know. Those of you who are in the Discord group, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So yeah, people, thank you for tuning in. Press like on the way out. Press subscribe. Like I say, the first ODI begins tomorrow. It depends when you lot are watching this, but 9:30 is the first ball in Barbados. 8:30 if you're in Jamaica. Obviously 2 p.m. or 2:30 or whatever. Sorry, 2:30 if you're in the UK, and so on and so forth. I might do a watch along. I don't know. It depends. I think I'm supposed to be in Kingston. But anyways, you get the deal, people. Let me wrap this one up. See you lot in the Discord group, those of you who are still awake and whatnot. And if you want to be in that group, let me know and I'll send you the link. And yeah, we rally around the West Indies now and forever, people. I'll be Machel St. Patrick here, one half the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. Thank you and good night.
We rule the cricket world. Now the rules seem coming.
Welcome to the Caribbean Cricket Podcast, your one-stop shop for all things West Indies cricket. By the fans, for the fans.